Okie dokes. Let's rock and roll.
Are we rolling?
We are rolling.
We
So,
are rolling at Ask Infinity.
at Ask Infinity.
Welcome to Ask Infinity.
Hey, that's my job.
I just had to try.
Oh, God. Your voice is so much better. So, welcome to another episode of Ask Infinity. As usual, that was unexpected. As usual, I'm your host, Jordan Lindo, and today's Infinity is Wayne Mouland. Thank you, Wayne, for coming on.
Thank you for having me, brother.
Thanks for that. What do you call this?
This is a sound bowl, singing bowl, actually.
Singing bowl.
Yes, it gives off beautiful vibrations, healing actually as well.
Okay, so here's the deal. People watching, listening won't know who you are, so just tell us a little bit about who you are and what you have going on right now.
Okay, my name is Wayne Mouland.
Mm-hmm.
Echo Movement, as you can see right here. I'm the founder. It's
Yeah.
a meditation humanitarian movement.
Mm-hmm.
We raise awareness of meditation. We do daily guided meditations. We also have the Monday night show, which you're going to be a guest on tonight,
Yeah.
called Conversations and Meditations.
Yes.
Again, just all about getting people to meditate, know that it's there for them. We also do cleanups. We do every month, every Sunday, first Sunday of every month, we do cleanups where we pick an area here in the GTA, and other people also do it in different parts of the country, the world, and we just all get together, make a party out of it,
Okay.
and clean it up and pick up the litter.
So that's pretty interesting. How did you get started with the cleanups? Like, I mean, you know what? Let's rewind a bit more. What got you interested in being a humanitarian? Because that's a very, very specific thing, right? Not everybody's waking up and saying, "Hey, let's do something about this problem that we're having on Earth," right? So for someone to do that, I think is very unique. So, like, where did you get started with the humanitarian?
That's quite the long story right there. I guess I can give you the short version.
The
of
abridged
it.
version.
Yes. I used to have a different past. I was a different person altogether. For the majority of my life, I walked down the criminal lifestyle, if you will. Was very unenlightened, if you will, to all these different things that we talk about nowadays.
Yeah.
Had
Well, I can
no-
tell you've changed.
Absolutely. Now I sell crystal necklaces instead of other stuff. So anyways,
Instead of crystal, bleep.
yes, and whatever else I could get my hands on. But back then, I have three beautiful children.
Yeah.
I was looking at doing some serious time, and that was the whole point in my life where I realized, what the heck am I doing here?
Yeah.
Why didn't I realize that? What would my kids do if something like this occurred? Did some prayer, did some some soul searching.
Yep.
While waiting trial in jail.
Jesus Christ.
you know,
Hold on a second. Before you move further, what is that experience like? You're awaiting trial. You're in jail, like at the courthouse?
I was in the West Detention Center for this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just waiting, trying to get bail. I ended up getting bail a few months later. But while I was in there, going back and forth, like I said, did some prayer, made some promises.
Yeah.
To whomever,
Whatever's up
whatever's up there and down there and all around here. Made some promises that if I could get out of that,
Yeah.
I would change my life and make a difference in other people's lives. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what that looked like.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, that was the promise that I made. And it took me a while to get to that point.
Yeah.
Even after I ended up eventually, my prayers were answered. I ended up beating the case. I didn't serve any of the jail time for it in the prison. And realized that once I walked out of that courtroom, I had to kind of keep up to my part of the bargain, if you will. And
So I'm
made
sorry
my shift from
to
there.
cut you off, but did you have like public representation, or were you paying a lawyer? Like,
No, I had a very good lawyer.
okay, I was gonna say, like, to get off a case like that is
Yeah, no, I had very good legal people on my team.
Yeah.
It costed a pretty penny as well, all worth every dime of it.
Yeah.
And I once I got away with that, I promised myself I wouldn't hurt anybody or do anything that would hurt people anymore. And I didn't totally fulfill that promise for a little while after that
Yeah.
because I hurt myself for a little while after that.
Oh.
Had some drug addictions that I was holding on to from that space
Yeah.
that I came from. And once I kind of dug myself out of that hole,
Yeah. Yeah.
I began to get it. I got a job. I was doing property management, condo management, and one thing led to another, and I was very unhappy in my life, and I had no idea. And we sometimes live life without becoming or being present
Yeah.
to how we're feeling. How we what are our expectations, or are we living a life that we're happy with and joyful with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it took this friend of mine, a colleague, big Christian guy, which is all good. I'm religious, not religious, right? I believe in this. If it's good in something, it's all good. Go for it.
Yeah.
Nothing against it,
Mm-hmm.
as long as it's all about peace, love, and harmony, and prosperity for one and all.
Yeah.
It's all great. So anyway, we're sitting down, and he knew my story of ex-gangster kind of thing, and turned to positivity. That's how I made my shift. I turned to positivity. And keeping good people around me, or keeping bad people away from me as well.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, how did you stop, your old life from showing up again? Because I'm sure like you made that internal decision to make a change, but like how do you,
Oh, I didn't say it didn't show up again. Oh, it showed up again numerous times.
Oh.
But I had made up my mind. I had made a clear decision that I was done with it. Like anything, I years later, quit drinking alcohol as well. Like anything, like any vice, sometimes it takes 2, 3, 4 attempts at it before you finally fit yourself into the groove and you're good to go. But I had found my groove.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was out. I was done.
So how did you, I'm sorry to cut you off,
No,
but there's
that's
so
okay.
many interesting things about this story that I'm finally able to, because we're longtime friends, but I haven't been
Yes.
able to really dig into this story. But what was my question? How did you leave the game? Like
Oh,
usually there's like in a gang they beat you up.
Yeah, I wasn't in a gang per se. I just did. I was an affiliate of all gangs.
So
if
an
you will.
entrepreneur,
Yeah, it was just a criminal entrepreneur. Yes, a freelancer.
a freelance.
I was a complete freelancer who got along with everybody.
How is that possible?
Oh, it's easy. I get along with everybody now. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but
the
you know
same
what?
thing.
In my mind, right, I'm thinking in the criminal world, and I don't know what that's like, but I'm imagining that it's like, this is my turf, that's your turf. You stay over there, I'll be over here.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It's not as
black and white.
Hollywood as out there as you would seem, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a big place. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of room for everybody to make their money or
To
whatever
thrive, yeah.
in whatever. So,
Yeah.
but enough of that side of it, right?
Yeah.
So, I got away with it. I got out of it, and I started off like that. I was, like I said, miserable. I didn't know. I didn't realize I wasn't present. I just knew I wasn't doing anything wrong anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Spending more time with the kids.
Yeah.
I was working, not getting into any kind of trouble legally or what have you. So I was fine. I was complacent with that. And then it took this gentleman to come over to me, and we were sitting down, we're having lunch, and he's like, Wayne, I want to ask you something. I want to tell you something, actually, that I want you to promise me first that you're not going to get mad at me. I promised him. He got my attention. I promised him that I wasn't going to get mad at him.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, good. You look like crap. You don't seem yourself. I can definitely tell something's wrong. Like,
Yeah.
what's going on? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, yeah.
And it really woke me up, to be honest. I wasn't present to myself of how I was feeling. I didn't know that, once I thought about, okay, what would it take for me to have my happiest life, to be my best self or whatever?
Yeah.
Never thought of that stuff before.
Yeah, yeah.
And he opened my eyes to that. So, he asked me, he could tell I was kind of, you know, taken aback by the whole thing and shock a little bit.
Yeah, of course. It's a
That
big
I just
change.
realized that I was actually miserable, and I didn't even know. And he
Wow.
asked me what the problem was, and I thought about it for a minute. I knew that I didn't like what I was doing. I knew that that job wasn't what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. My
Yeah.
relationship was pretty rocky, if you will, to say the least, at that time.
Yeah, yeah.
And I didn't know what my purpose was. I had no idea. Since a child, since a little boy growing up in Whitney Pier, Sydney, Nova Scotia, in a beautiful place, Cape Breton, Nova Scotia.
Yeah, yeah.
I always felt like I had some kind of purpose here. I knew I was supposed to, do something good, and I knew I didn't do it before, and I
Yeah.
knew that what I was doing wasn't it either.
Yeah, yeah.
And as we spoke, and being the big Christian guy that he was, his name was John, who I never seen again, by the way,
Okay.
after that day. But anyways, he told me, he's like, Wayne, you know what I'm going to tell you to do. And I did. I knew what he was going to say.
Okay.
He said, I want you to go home tonight. I want you to pray to Jesus for some guidance
Yeah, yeah.
on what your life purpose is. I believe your answer lies there. And
So how did you meet this guy, John?
he worked at the security guard company
Oh,
that I used at my buildings. So he would take me out for lunch here and there, every month or two.
yeah.
And that's how we became acquainted. And once he told me that, I said, you know what? I've got nothing to lose. Let me go home and do this. Like,
Yeah.
it's time to do something. And I remembered that what I did to get out of the original mess
Yeah.
was through prayer as well. So I went home that night and I bought frankincense. I did everything, candles. I prayed,
Yeah.
and for my life purpose, what was I here to do? Give me the direction?
Yeah.
Because like I said, I knew I wasn't doing it or on it at that time, and I felt good. I felt something different. I felt kind of like a rush of relief, and then also some excitement coming in. Like I believe that I touched something that was going to give me some kind of answer to the question.
Yeah. I feel like you kind of finally hit that part where it was like, okay, I'm now actually on the path. Like, I think it feels, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you were so misguided. And then finally getting back on the path, it was like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to go.
Exactly. So I just knew that something was going to come my way. The answer was going to come my way. So I woke up the next day early. I had some pep in my step. I was feeling good because you got to remember at this time,
Yeah.
the months prior to that day, I was very stressed, depressed. The job, I didn't enjoy it whatsoever. There was too much politics and whatnot.
So hold that thought. How did you go from, because there's a lot of people who come out of the system and have a hard time finding a job. So how did you make that transition?
See, this is yet again another story of my life kind of thing because I'm usually very lucky,
Yeah.
and lucky and amazing, incredible things happen to me all the time, which I'm very grateful for. But this was an easy thing at the time. I needed to get a job. I knew I had to do something. So I ended up working with a friend of mine who was managing condos.
Oh.
And he had a lot of work to do in his buildings. He said, Wayne, I need somebody to do some paint, drywall, and all this different type of stuff. Why don't you put a business together and I'll get you to do it, right? So I started doing that. It was so busy after a while. I hired two people.
Wow.
And I didn't do anything. I just, made sure everybody was doing what they had to do and pay everybody and collect the money at the end of the week. So it was great until actually my friend who got me the job, who was in the property management, his parents won $10 million on the 649. So he all of a sudden came into a lot of money and he quit instantly doing what he was doing. He was just a one-man, team on his
band,
company.
Yeah.
And he quit, and another company came in, and they had their own people for that stuff. So he said to me, he gave me some money. We were very close friends. We had gone through a lot
Yeah.
years prior to that point. He gave me some money. He said, here, Wayne, I know they're going to get rid of you and get somebody else here. Here's some little bit of money. People have been telling me that they enjoy you in the office, because when he needed somebody to come to the office
Yeah.
and sit in for him when he had to go here, there, wherever, he used to ask me if I was there, could you sit in the office or whatever? And everybody would always say to him, oh, why don't you hire, why doesn't Wayne sit in the office? Blah, blah, blah. He's such a nice guy, la, la, la.
Yeah.
He said, you'd be good at this job. Everything happens for a reason. I wish he had have explained to me how difficult and stressful the job was at the time, but that's okay. I let that go. But that's how I got into property management. I took the course that he told me to take, the condo law course.
Yeah.
And I got a job within weeks. Within weeks.
Wow.
To just give you an example of the lucky things that would happen to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I was at in Mississauga here. I was at a condo, dropping off resumes to be a property manager or assistant manager at these different locations. See who's where and all this stuff. I'm just on the pavement doing my thing, looking for
Something.
hunting for
Yeah.
that job. And I got out there. I noticed at the building that I just left, I noticed there was 2 more buildings that were facing the opposite direction. So
Yeah.
I was in the backyard, basically by the back gate
Yeah. Yeah.
of these buildings, and I would have to drive around and go into the other side, on the other side of the block. And I noticed 2 older gentlemen coming out to the gate that was locked.
Uh-huh.
And I said, okay, let me ask these guys to let me through. I'll walk in here and I'll talk to the office, and then I'll come back this way. And I asked the guys, I said, gentlemen, could you do me a favor? I'm looking for the management office here at these buildings. And is it possible that you could let me in? I could go through here. And the one gentleman looked at me and he said, well, what can we do for you? I'm the president of the board.
What?
And this is the treasurer. And so I get to talking with them.
Yeah.
And, I all of a sudden, because it was a beautiful summer day, and we're on first name basis, and the guy's name was Mario, and they knew my name. So he's like, we're talking, and I give them some advice about a broken fence that was there. And he said, you know what, Wayne, I think you're a nice guy. Let me get you a job.
Wow.
So that's how I got into property management.
Okay.
So a lot of these different type of things, and this is a great thing for people to understand too. Like, even when you believe that you're unhappy, or you think things are going terrible, or you know what, you just got to put in some kind of effort.
Yeah.
And just believe that you're a lucky person. Because sometimes I would always be that guy and say, oh, I'm a lucky guy. And I've always got away with certain things, or just lucky type stuff would happen to me. And I always made that statement. I always proclaimed that. I didn't know at the time that I was sending that energy out to the universe. So it could echo back and manifest into my life like it always did. I didn't know that.
Okay.
But that's what was happening. So, just get out there, just do what you can with a excited and a lucky feeling, and things always happen. They always happen.
So I love that you said echo, because I'm just thinking, I'm looking down the chronological timeline of your life, and I'm seeing someone who goes from not so good of a situation to a slightly better situation. Where does echo movement happen? Because now it's like, I'm seeing the swing, right, from the negative into the positive.
Yeah.
So it's like, where does echo movement come?
That's the perfect segue to bring us back to the story I was telling you right there, where the day after I prayed, after John, the gentleman, told me that I looked like crap and everything else.
Yeah.
The very next day, I went into my office at one of the buildings that I managed.
Yeah.
And I was listening to some music. I had a YouTube video playing on my computer. And this ad video popped up on the screen.
Yeah.
It said, "Are you stressed out?" Question mark. Okay. Unhappy? Question mark, question mark.
It's like, check, yes.
Hit this link and try meditation. Now, right away, as soon as I saw that, I had never known anything too much about meditation. I heard of it, didn't try it. I was totally a virgin to it,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, you know what? This could be what I'm looking for right now. That could be the answer
Wow.
of what I just prayed for last night. So I hit the link, did a 5-minute. It didn't hurt. She was a pretty girl. It wasn't meditation either, but I did the meditation, and I loved the meditation. It was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, I was very stressed out at that time, and I could feel the stress leaving my body. And I knew that there's something to this. There's more to this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went home and I started to totally just go through all the information I could find. Because I tell people, I'm sure I've told you before, I have my university degree at the University of Y&G. And that's YouTube and Google. Because I went crazy on YouTube and Google. Wayne Dyer is a name that comes to mind, who I really started listening to and resonated with exactly at that time. And I started getting into meditation on a constant basis, daily. And which sometimes I forget and fall off. Even to this day, sometimes I'll fall off my meditation practice to the fullest.
Yeah.
And I always notice a difference as well if I don't do it.
So what is your meditation practice?
Well, I meditate daily. Sometimes I might be doing stuff, or I might be busy, and I may lose that little spot and not meditate here and there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I notice a big difference.
Wow.
Huge difference. So this is back just before I met you, which was about 3 or 4 years ago now. I knew, meditation, wonderful stuff.
Big thing.
I start researching it. I end up coming across all of this related information, right? Energy, vibration, manifestation, the power of blessings, all of these different things that they don't teach us in school, right? But they're starting to now, which is wonderful.
Which is incredible.
Amazing.
Oh my God, I'm so excited about that.
So I began, just like I said, diving into this whole world that was new to me. And when I came across manifestation, I really enjoyed this concept of being able to create whatever, blah, 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 whatever.
So why did you just take to it? Because a lot of people, in that place in their life, right, they're not so open to new concepts and ideas. I feel like at every point in your life, you were open and you were like, okay,
Well, you got to remember, I wasn't until that gentleman.
You mean the angel, John?
Made me become present to
Yeah.
how I was feeling about my life. So there's billions of people
Wow.
walking around this planet as we speak,
Yeah.
not even thinking. Because sometimes, let's face it, life can get in the way of living. Sometimes it can get in the way of living, like the hustle, the bustle.
Yeah.
You become unpresent
Yeah.
to things that are the most important.
Wow.
How you're feeling, where you're at within yourself, whether you accept yourself for who you are, all these different things that we on the day-to-day, we don't think about, we're not present about. So once I had that epiphany, then I was much more present to being open to all of these other things. If it had to come my way before that day had occurred, I might have laughed it off. You never know. But I was different. I was in a different space.
Yeah.
When you have a different perspective, you're in a different parallel universe. 100%.
That's a bomb.
So that's where I began my meditation practice, and on a consistent basis. I wasn't even staying at my home. Like I said, my relationship was rocky at that time.
Yeah.
We're friends now. It's all good now. But back then, it was just a terrible moment here in my space. So I went to stay with a friend who lived right on the lake of Lake Ontario. And I would meditate every day, every night. She was very rarely home.
Yeah.
So I had the place to myself usually. And one night I was just called to go out and meditate on this particular rock. And I'll tell you about that meditation, because I forgot about the part where when I found out about manifestation,
Yeah.
this is an important piece of the whole puzzle here.
Yeah, yeah.
When I realized and found manifestation, I realized, okay, I can't stand this job. I hate it, to be honest, to myself and whatever. Let me manifest. Let me work with this manifestation of a new job. So I began to do all the manifestation steps.
Wow. Yeah.
Which I work with people now in the mentoring program that I do, team mentoring program.
Yeah.
Going through to help people manifest their dreams or whatever they would like to experience in their life. I did all the 7 steps, visualized it. I was meditating on it. I was thinking positive about it. I was getting excited like it already happened. I was writing about it. I was taking the little actions that I could take, writing it down, getting some new clothes for this new job, getting my resume together, telling people that I wanted to make a shift in my career, just whatever I could do.
Yeah, yeah.
And lo and behold, 3 weeks later, poof,
Out of nowhere.
manifest this job from who was a friend of mine,
Yeah.
who I did work with in the industry, in the flood restoration.
Oh.
And my job now was to take managers out for lunch, just like John did for me,
Yeah.
and just keep everybody happy and make sure everybody would use us for their work,
Yes.
right? And the funny part about it was, the ironic and synchronistic part about it was that everything I did to manifest the job,
Yeah.
which was clean myself up from within, I'm meditating, I'm being mindful, I'm being positive, I'm being happy, I'm being excited, I'm journaling, I'm
Journaling
doing all these different things.
Nice, nice.
And the name of the company was exactly what I did to get the job. It was called Absolute Interior. So I'm sitting there and this is all hitting me. I'm like, okay, this manifestation thing is for real. Meditation is no joke. This is like next level. The whole energetic, the secret, the law of attraction, all the universal laws, all these things are for real.
Yeah. There's a science there that I think we're just unaware of.
And I thought to myself right there,
Yeah.
if I can do this for myself individually, what would happen, or what could we do if we all got together collectively and did that? What could we accomplish? It would be endless. There would be no limitations to what we could accomplish. So that was the day that the concept and the idea, I didn't know how I was going to do it at that point.
Yeah.
But that was the initial moment where basically Echo Movement was born. I didn't know what it was or how it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But I knew through collective meditations, like group synchronized meditations, or some way to get everybody together, to fuse our energies together, to manifest a better world here. That was when I had the initial seed was planted for Echo Movement. Now fast forward to that story where I moved to the lake with my friend. I was called that night, very, very special night. I was called to go out to do a meditation on the lake.
When you say called, like you talking about like a spiritual intuition or?
Yeah, something was just telling me, just go meditate. Like just go to the lake. Like it was almost like I was pulled to this one spot.
Did you meditate outdoors a lot at the time, or?
No, this was one of my first like real deal outdoor meditations.
Okay.
I was mostly doing it in indoors or whatever. If I was outside, I wasn't far from wherever I was at.
Okay.
But this time I went for a walk and was pulled to go to this space, these rocks that went out into the lake. And it was pitch black. It was late. It was a beautiful, clear night, full moon. The moon was huge. It almost looked like there was 2 moons. One was up in the sky and one was in the lake.
Yeah.
The reflection was just amazing.
Wow.
All the stars, you could even see planets. Everything was just crystal clear.
No light pollution.
It just looked incredible, like especially for being right next to downtown Toronto.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It was an amazing sky that night, and I sat there excuse me, and I began to meditate. And when I was called to go out there, it was almost like I was supposed to connect with Mother Nature. I felt like, okay, I'm going to talk to Mother Earth tonight, and it was an incredible meditation. It was the very first meditation where I came out of my body. It hasn't happened many times since, but it has. But this was the very first time where I came out of my body. I had an out of body experience, and I was hovering over myself, looking at myself, and I'm like,
Okay.
what's happening here?
So let's dive into this real quick. You had an out of body experience. So your eyes are closed,
Yes,
and all of a sudden your perception is you're looking at your body.
I'm looking down upon myself.
Okay, that's pretty
That's
intense.
yeah, and at the time, and at that moment, you know, even when I talk about it or thinking about it or after it happened, like in that moment, I had no fear. I didn't feel any kind of like craziness, or you know what I mean. Like I wasn't shaken at all by this for some reason. I just felt at peace and everything was fine.
Yeah.
I didn't question, oh my God, have I died and left my body? Any of that stuff. I was just looking at myself, and it was a beautiful scene where I all of a sudden was somewhere else, and I couldn't see myself anymore. And I had a conversation, a telepathic conversation with this spirit being who I believed was Mother Earth. That's because I went out to meditate to connect to Mother Earth.
That was your intention, yeah.
And lo and behold, this beautiful female energy spirit appears. And through, you know, some kind of telepathic communication or whatnot and visuals,
Yeah.
that's when the real vision
Okay.
of echo movement came to me
Wow.
in that meditation.
So people are definitely going to be thinking and asking themselves, was there any type of psychedelics involved in this experience?
Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
That day I was crystal clear. Absolutely. Yeah, there was no psychedelics. And I have touched on
Dabbled.
psychedelics here and there,
Yeah.
both post and pre and post enlightenment.
Yeah.
But that day, nothing, like even close.
Wow.
There was no interference like that, if you will.
Yeah.
But like you said, where did the cleanups come from? And the concept that night within that meditation, that's when the visions were shown to me of us in groups, mass groups, cleaning up the planet, taking care of Mother Earth, you know, recycling, any and everything, everybody just coming together consciously and changing how we treat this place, this beautiful planet. And then also seeing mass groups of synchronized people meditating, and also meditating in front of their computers. I would see visions of crowds meditating. I would even see myself facilitating massive group meditations. And then also we're seeing clips of people doing it from their homes all at the same time. So it doesn't matter. It's not like you have to get every person on the planet together in one location.
I love that.
They can meditate wherever they're at, as long as it's at the same time. Same kind of intention, same kind of energy. And this has been scientifically proven, and case studies done already. I found out after, again, researching it more, after I coming up with all these things, having these visions, I researched more.
So hold that thought, because I wanna kind of baby step through that experience, because that's not something that people are accustomed to hearing or even have experienced. So you go into the woods, you have this meditation, you connect with this amazing energy. When you finally come back to your body, what are your rational thoughts going through your mind?
Oh, I was completely euphoric. I was in tears. I was moved beyond moved. I can't even explain to you. Like, I was ecstatic. Those are just a few of the words I can think of right now. To be able to even come close to describe the feeling that I had at that day. At that time, I was already at my other job. I was out of the condo stuff, which
Yeah.
was amazing. And I realized that, okay, I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do. Like, how is this going to happen?
Yeah.
It's just going to be a meditation humanitarian group.
Oh.
And I started a group on Facebook. And as I'm starting up the group on Facebook, I got stuck at a point where I realized, oh my God, I have to call this something.
Oh, okay.
What am I
I
going
love
to
that.
call it?
Yeah, yeah.
So I, of course, meditated. I asked the question.
Yeah.
You know, I set the intention in this meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And for people who don't know, when you set an intention, you just use that little voice in your head, or you can say it out loud, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Use that little voice in your head or in your heart,
Yeah.
and ask the question of what you're looking to receive,
Receive. Okay.
from the meditation. I asked the divine source energy
Mm-hmm.
to help me come up with the proper name to call this movement. I knew it was a movement.
Wow.
And I fell asleep.
Yeah.
I woke up 3 hours later, drool all on my face.
I mean, you were deep, bro.
I was deep in there, man. And the first thing, I sat up, and the first word that came out of my mouth was echo. I was like, this is echo. This is echo movement. Because it's perfect. Because, we're blasting out positive energy, well wishes, prayers, whatever you want to call it, blessings
Yes.
of a better place for everyone here, every living thing on this planet,
Mm-hmm.
and everywhere else. So it can echo back and manifest into reality, just as these other little things have happened for me.
So we got to do a little
Boom.
sound bowl action on that.
There you go. So that was how Echo Movement basically started.
Mm-hmm.
So then I could complete the Facebook group. I added a name to it.
No one else had Echo Movement.
No, there was an Echo Movement on there.
Yeah.
A band, an American band, who were very similar.
Yeah.
They were just music, period.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was enlightening music as well.
Oh, so cool.
So they were fine with it. I did try to get the echomovement.com from them, but they still have that. That's all good. But they were cool with, Echo Movement.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's
Once
fine.
once Echo Movement is making millions, tens of millions of dollars, you'll just buy them out. It's not a problem.
Yeah, well, we'll get that .com real fast.
Maybe you can even get them to perform at one of your
You
Echo
know what?
Movement
I
events.
have already seen that. I've already visioned that. Yeah, yeah,
That would be friggin' amazing.
yeah. That would be full circle for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So so you have Echo Movement, the name. You have the Facebook group created.
Mm-hmm.
What happens next?
I was a popular fellow at that time as well. I had a couple thousand friends on Facebook already.
Mm-hmm.
So I put 200 people. I added 200 people to the group who I knew would be more receptive to this whole thing. Like, it was more aligned for them. Like, they were
Yes.
already into something similar, or they did yoga, or they were just a very peaceful person that liked to help people, or whatever. Somebody who
okay.
had some kind of real attachment or alignment to alignment's a way better word to that whole thing, whole concept or whatever.
Yeah.
And just started from just making positive posts and just being inspirational or whatnot, and spreading love. And it just grew. One day it started from 200. Then I noticed that all of a sudden there was 400. And then it was go up every week. It would be 50 more, and 50 more, and 50 more, until there was thousands of people in the group.
Jesus.
And I got a call from a mutual friend of ours,
Yeah.
Mark Gaudette,
Ah.
one day, and he. It was funny because I met Mark Gaudette. I don't know, were you there? I met Mark Gaudette. He called me to come to a playground build.
Oh.
And Marcos Mendoza and Chef Jagger Gordon were both there. I met Marcos and Jagger.
No way.
That same
At the
day.
same day.
At the same event.
That's incredible.
I met Rhea. Rhea was there too.
Okay.
So a lot of our community members we all
present
collaborated that day. And I met Anna, the founder of $1 Million Smiles. We, connected. We fell in love with each other's ideas and concepts or whatnot. And I just been involved with $1 Million Smiles ever
Ever
since then,
since, yeah.
which can be located at $1,000,000smiles.ca.
Little quick plug.
Boom.
Yeah.
Donate today. They build playgrounds. We build playgrounds for children who have terminal illnesses and surprise them in their backyards and shine some light in the dark space. So that was one of the first charitable things. And you know what? I got to tell you, you were involved in one of the very first charitable things as well, because a mutual friend of ours, Johnny Wagwan,
Okay.
called me up one day.
Yeah.
He said, Wayne, I see you got this group, there's
Yeah.
a couple thousand people in it or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe you might be able to help me out. I have a friend, this girl.
Yeah.
She is homeless and she needs some clothes and some stuff. She has an interview next week. Do you know anybody her size? She's this, blah blah blah. What can we do?
Help
something?
her out. Yeah.
So I thought, okay, you know what? Let me see what I can do. I called a few people, got some clothes, but let me do one better, and let me put a post in the group. So I did. Now I put a post in the group. I said, okay, friend of a friend, down and out, needs clothes for interview. She's in a struggle, blah blah blah. Let's help her out. A few days go by. My entire home was full of stuff. People were sending clothes. I had garbage bags, a whole garage full of garbage bags of clothes. I had people dropping off skids of shampoo, toiletries, food. It was crazy. I had so much stuff. I didn't know what to do with it. So who did I call? I called you. I called Jordan Lindo one day.
I barely remember this.
Now I'm going to let me remind you. I said to you, do you know any great charities in the area that I could bring all this stuff to? And you said to me, I know this one place called the Scott Mission.
I love that place.
So I went down to the Scott Mission
Yeah.
and fell in love with the whole organization and what they do.
Yeah.
They gave me the whole tour, whatnot. I said, well, okay, this is an easy one. Thank you, Jordan. I found my location
Yeah.
to bring all the stuff to. Because it was also great because if they had enough of what I brought, they had the outlets to all the other shelters and different charities throughout the city.
Yeah.
So that whoever, if they had
Like a
enough,
funnel.
it was going to where it was going to be definitely used by the people that everybody was giving it for.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which
Such
was
a big
huge.
deal. Yeah.
And this is another thing that we do with Echo Movement. We do a lot of work with different charities, and Feed It Forward being another one. One of my favorites, of course, Chef Jagger Gordon that I met that day.
So are you connected with literally everybody who's a humanitarian in the Toronto greater area?
I
or?
wouldn't know. There's no way I'm connected with everybody who does. There's a lot of humanitarian work that goes on here.
Yeah.
I'm connected with probably a very small percentage. There's a lot of stuff that a lot of amazing organizations, a lot of amazing people are doing. I am in contact with quite a few now. Matt Black is another one too as well. Heroes in Black. He does a lot of great stuff with the homeless in the Toronto as well here. And he's branching out as well, I hear, so that's great too. Like there's so many different wonderful things happening all over this planet. And I noticed that the city of Toronto, there's something special about this place.
Yeah.
The people,
100%.
the multicultural nature of every, it's just the
It's a melting
kindness.
pot.
It's a beautiful place. And even coming from growing up in Nova Scotia, even when I was a kid, I felt like I was going to live here. I always knew I was going to live here.
Oh, interesting.
100% I knew. I just didn't think I would be doing this
Yeah.
at that time.
Yeah.
But, and it's a beautiful thing to give back. Because listen, I'm human like everybody else.
Okay.
I go through my tough days as well.
Yeah,
and
for
I've
sure.
suffered from depression and many things, even to this day. And giving back can be your saving grace. 100%. when you think that, everything is, going down the tubes, to say it lightly,
Yeah. Yeah.
life is this and that, whatever, and you get out there and you help somebody else who has it way worse off than you, it gives you a whole new perspective on A, what you have to be grateful for,
Yeah.
and B, how we have the opportunity and the ability. It doesn't even take a lot of money to change somebody's life.
And I'm glad you said that, because I want to circle back to what you said. I think that a lot of people are ready to give. They're just looking for the opportunity. So you've created this and you gave people an opportunity to give, and then you were like flooded. So I'm just thinking, what is the next step? How do we take that up a step? Like, how do we get, because you probably had a few hundred people giving, right? How do we get a few thousand people to give? Like, what are your plans for taking this more globally?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Which I have been really pondering as of lately as well, because we do a lot of stuff when it comes through like the cleanups,
Yeah.
the doing the builds. I do Feed It Forward, which is an organization. I've got to get this in there.
Yeah.
By the one and only Chef Jagger Gordon, who we rescue food that's destined for landfills.
Yeah.
So we're taking greenhouse gases out of the equation, and we're getting it available for sale by donation at the first of its kind. If you can't pay, it's okay. Grocery store and cafe at 3324 Dundas Street West in
Wait,
Toronto.
it's a cafe too? Like, you can go in and sit
You can
down
go in and get a tea, coffee, smoothie.
Okay.
There's the amazing vegan vegetables and produce.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
incredible. Like, it's unbelievable. And like I said, people come in there of all walks of life, and it doesn't matter if you've got lots of money and you're well off. Please come to the store and pay more so that someone else can pay it forward, and because a lot of people go there that they can't afford, and some of them are just making ends meet, and some of them don't have ends to meet. So
That's real.
it's real deal. So. And this is an amazing initiative that also works with the students in different colleges and universities in the GTA as well, because students also have food insecurities.
Yes.
And even like I said, with people who have homes, sometimes it can be hard to
Just hard times.
to make ends meet. So
you get these little bumps in life.
right,
And you
so a lot of people could use a hand up. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
it's a beautiful thing to have that there. So that's. And to answer your question, it takes a village. And I've heard many people speaking this phrase for quite some time now. I heard Byron Nelson say it the other day as well. It takes a village, and a lot of these initiatives that we're doing, it takes money. It takes money. It takes time.
Yeah.
We're actually looking to get some sponsorship from different corporations or just people in general.
Yes.
Or also even just donations or what have you, to be able to get these things to the next level, like you're talking about, to get the cleanups massively promoted, so that they're seen all over the world, and everybody shifts to that new awareness and presence of taking better care of the planet through the education, through the word of mouth, through advertising, through the media. All of the above, right?
Yes.
Now, we've all been conditioned to be in this society per se,
Yeah.
through different means of communication.
Okay, go
which
into
is
that.
what we're going to be talking about later on the show as well.
Yeah.
We're through television,
Yeah.
through the news, through the media, through radio, through books, through all the different, through the food, through the water, you name it, everything that we consume. We have been conditioned to believe certain things
Yeah.
about what we're supposed to do here, what we're supposed to be,
Yeah.
or whatever. And to do the same thing with this enlightening information, this love, this positivity, this mindfulness, kindfulness, all of these other things, can be done through the same means.
It's a tool.
We don't have to reinvent the wheel. We just have to steer it in a different direction. So that's what I see. And that's what it's all about, is people coming together. Like even on the show later, I'm going to do a call out for people who want to get involved on any and all levels, whether it be volunteering or doing some work to help promote the cleanups, setting up your own cleanups, setting up and all over the world, or doing meditations, spreading awareness to the show and getting the show out there to get as many people meditating at the same time, so we can collectively manifest a better space here. Work with all these different wonderful, amazing charities and organizations that are helping all of humanity.
Yeah.
And just to bring peace, just to bring complete peace to humanity and to Mother Earth, which was the vision going in. That was the whole Echo Movement vision. Now,
so now,
how we were going to do it, we didn't know, but here we are.
Here you are. Well, that was what I was going to say, is you had the initial download. Now, have you just been taking it one day at a time? Or
Yes, well,
have you had any other great insights or downloads since then?
It's nonstop. It's a never-ending process. Even like I said about I'm human as well. So as Echo Movement grows, I've been growing too, and there's a reason why they have the word growing pains.
Yeah.
It's not all peaches and cream at times.
Yeah.
Which is okay. That's what happens, right? A piece of coal has to be under tremendous pressure to become a diamond. So this is it's just a part of how the physics
The process.
work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the physics.
Okay. Well, Wayne, I could go on in conversation with you forever.
I know. I love it.
But we're getting close to the hour, so I want to do two things before we wrap up.
All right.
The first thing is, plug all of the things you want to plug. Let people know where they can connect with you, and then we'll move forward. Go ahead.
Okay, so let me see. You can go to echomovement.ca, where meditation is the way. You can also find us on Facebook. There's the Echo Movement page, and then there's Echo Movement group page.
Okay.
Also, you can find me, Wayne Mouland, Mouland, on Facebook as well. And you can also email me at wayne@echomovement.ca.
Okay.
And
awesome.
you can get involved in the cleanups. There's a lot of information there. Reach out to me for that.
How often are you doing the cleanups?
The first Sunday of every month.
Okay, beautiful.
Very first Sunday of every month. This month being August 4th.
So they don't have an excuse if they're like, "Oh, I missed one." It's like, "Oh, there's one next
You know
month."
what? And there's no excuse when they say, "Oh, I can't make it." Well, that's great too, because you can do it wherever you're at on the planet.
I love that.
All they have to do is get them. So they don't even need anybody. They can do it themselves. Get some people, their family, their friends, whomever, their ball team, whatever, the bingo club. I don't care. Get your people together.
Yeah.
Pick up some litter.
Yeah.
Take some videos, some pics. Post it on social media. Hashtag it Echo Movement Global Cleanup.
Yeah.
And that's how we can just spread the awareness. We've got people doing it in many different locations all over the place. So you listen. Where are you going to be August 4th? You're going to be there.
I'm going to be there.
You're going to be there. But see, for anybody out there that says, "Oh, you know what? I'd love to be there," because we're doing free yoga. We're having a vegan potluck picnic and a meditation before we clean the area.
A sound bowl meditation?
It's going to be the yoga is going to be by Angela Elizabeth Marie.
Okay.
Is going to be doing the yoga.
Yeah.
We're going to do a sound bowl meditation.
Yes.
Boom. And have a little vegan picnic before we clean up the area.
Beautiful.
And and we do the show every Monday night, conversations and meditations.
Beautiful.
We have a very special guest tonight. His name is Jordan Lindo.
Oh my God, what a blessing!
I can't wait.
It's been what? I don't know.
It's been 4 years coming.
Yeah.
So that's the Monday night show. The cleanups, feeditforward.ca, echomovement.ca, milliondolarsmiles.ca. What else? We have Echo Studios here where we do we're going to begin some yoga classes and some different things happening with the meditation classes as well.
Okay.
And I have an energetic mentoring program called Team Transitional Energy Alignment Mentoring.
Very briefly talked about it. Can you, I know we're getting close, but can you just give us a little taste?
Sure. It's basically the program of all of the things that I did to transform my life from being the person at that space that I was in to this person who you see today. And it was such a transformation. It's
Well, is there a greater transformation like that pendulum swing is literally from the worst possible situation into.
we're getting there.
So let me ask you a question, and it's like I want to cut this short, but I have to ask this. Do you feel that your previous lifestyle plays a role in just how much um, focus and energy you're putting into your lifestyle as this humanitarian version of yourself?
That's a good question. I would have to say yes, yes, and no, no. And I can explain that quickly.
Never heard that before. I love that.
Yes, yes, and no, no. Because yes, it has definitely catapulted me into a different direction.
Yeah, yeah.
Knowing and experiencing what it's like on the wrong end of it.
Yes.
And I would say no, where sometimes the old guilts or the old memories
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes will shake you up and kind of get you stuck a little bit sometimes
Oh, okay.
from guilt, shame, what have you.
Ah.
So on like 100%, it's been more on a positive level.
Yeah.
And even on the negative side, there's really good reasons for that too. So
okay.
I would say that. And I also wrote a book as well. It's called Wayne's Echo.
We didn't even talk about the book.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the book is pretty much the story of my life.
Okay.
We talked about a few things that are in the book.
That are in the book. Okay.
Here in
So
this
I'm gonna put links, obviously, to everything that you spoke about, and we'll have a link to the book as well in there,
Beautiful.
so people can just click and
They
purchase
can get
that.
it. Yeah, it's on Amazon.
Amazon. Yeah.
It's on Amazon now, and it's also you can order your signed copy at echomovement.ca.
Oh hell yeah! I want the signed copy. Okay, so thank you so much. We're just gonna go into that last question, and I'm taking a deep breath. I always get a little nervous when I ask certain people this question because I know that they're gonna like take it to infinity.
Give it to me.
So pretend that I'm a child, okay?
All right.
Now, what is your experience of infinity, or what is infinity to you?
What is infinity to me?
Yes.
Huh. Now, I had no idea he was going to ask me this question.
Yeah, of course. Curveball,
Which
man.
is good. Which is good. What does infinity mean to me? Infinity to me is a never-ending journey. A constant flow of a never-ending journey that is one of the most beautiful things we could ever imagine. And I believe that sometimes you have to drive in the night to get to somewhere. So you're going to have to go through the darkness at some point. But it'll always get you to the daylight for sure.
We're going to end it right there, man. That was friggin' beautiful.
Thank you so much for having me on the show, brother. I appreciate it, man.
It's my goddamn pleasure, man. We're going to end with a...
Boom.
with a sound bowl. Thank
so
you
it is.
so much for listening and watching, everyone. Have a blessed day. You know what to do. The social media thing. Subscribe, share, like, click the links if it resonates for you, which I know that it will. And peace.
Peace.
Woo! What time are we at?